Hey, good morning, YouTube. About to talk to you a little bit about this book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This book was written in the 1930s, 1940s, somewhere around there. Napoleon Hill spent a great deal of time studying the wealthiest people in the world and coming up with the principles that he put into this book. And he came up with 13 principles on what it takes to build wealth, to become rich. And these 13 principles, when you apply them, you can't help but get rich. So the first thing that he lists is desire. You know, if you don't have a desire for something, you're not going to put any effort into it. So it's never going to happen for you. You have to have desire. The second thing he says, you have to have faith. You can desire something all you want to, but if you don't have faith that you're going to get the thing you desire, how are you going to get the thing you desire? Then he goes on and he talks about autosuggestion, which is probably one of the more powerful chapters in the book, because autosuggestion is the ability to program your subconscious mind, which is very important because they don't teach this stuff in school. And you're never going to learn it if you don't read this book and apply what's in this book. He goes on and says you need specialized knowledge, and you have to obtain the knowledge to do something. Recently, somebody shared an idea with me about doing a business and how to do a business online. And I listened to them and I got some specialized knowledge on how to do that. And I'm talking with a guy in the cigar shop and he has a product and I have a way to market his product. Bam, all of a sudden he wants me to be his affiliate marketer. Why? Because I have some specialized knowledge and he has a product. And when you put those two things together, bam, magic happens. And out of the blue, I'm the first one that's going to be an affiliate marketer for this product. And it's going to be coming up and it's going to be fantastic. But specialized knowledge got me an opportunity because I had a desire for something more. I had faith it was going to come up, and I got some specialized knowledge and it ended up paying off. And I got it because I'm reading this book. And he talks about your imagination, you know, having an imagination. You have to take a look at the way things are going to be as the way you want them to be now. You have to imagine everything now. You already have the dream car. You already have the dream house. You already have the business you want. You already make the money that you want. You have to imagine you have those things now so that you attract those things to you. He also talks about organized planning. You can have all the above, but if you don't have any kind of an organized plan, what good is it going to do? You're going to run around like a chicken with your head cut off, and you're going to pull yourself in a bunch of different directions instead of focusing and going straight where you need to go to get to where you want to be. It's very important that you have a plan. Even if the plan isn't a perfect plan, an imperfect plan is better than no plan at all. And that's what he talks about here. Chapter 8 is on decision. And I've learned to make decisions a certain way. First of all, people who are wealthy make decisions quickly and they rarely change their mind, if ever. People who are poor take forever to make up their mind. When they do make up their mind, they're changing their mind all the time. They never stick with a decision, and it leads to chaos. And I learned a way of making a decision that makes life really, really simple. It's do it, delegate it, or dump it. If it's something that absolutely has to be done and I'm the only one that can do it, I do it. If it's something that has to be done, like lawn maintenance or cleaning the house, things like that, those are things I could delegate. I can hire someone to do those things for me so that I can spend time doing the things I need to do that are going to make me wealthy. And last but not least, there's dump it. If it's something I don't absolutely have to do and I don't have to delegate it to someone else, why would I waste any of my time, which is my most precious asset, thinking about something I don't need to think about? Dump it, get rid of it, just lose it completely, and you never have to worry about it again. And that's how you make a good decision. My favorite chapter in this book is chapter 9. It's on persistence. And the first time that I studied this book, I was told, read the chapter on persistence 14 days in a row before you ever read the book. And if you skip a day, if you miss a day, start all over again and read it for 14 days before you do anything else. And I'm going to tell you, persistence is probably the most important thing, because I see a lot of people start in a business opportunity. I see a lot of people start in martial arts, and the one thing they lack is persistence. They go so far and they quit. And when they quit, you never have a chance to succeed. If you don't quit, even if you fail 1,000,000 times, if you're persistent, sooner or later, you're going to be successful one of those times. And persistence, sticking to it, no matter what the odds are, that's what's going to get you through. And I know that when John Ramsey hears this and he says, yeah, persistence is going to be important, he'll tell you about my persistence. And you hear the story about my persistence, you're going to be like, oh, wow, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. This is what it takes, persistence, trust me. He talks about the power of the mastermind. You know, you're not the smartest person in the world, and you might not know how to make $1 million, but you probably know a few people that if you got together and you pooled your intelligence, you could make a group where all of you could discuss the different situations that come up in your business, in your life, and come up with solutions, because you have a mastermind group to turn to. And that's really something that's very powerful, because if you don't have the answers, but you know somebody who might have the answers, and you can communicate with those people and get those answers, you might solve some of the problems that you have, and vice versa. You might know something that somebody else doesn't know. Perfect example, a guy's telling me when I'm talking to him about a way of marketing a product, here he is, he's sitting on a product and he has no clue how to market it effectively. All of a sudden I come up and say, hey, well, this is what I heard. This is what I'm going to do. And he said, hey, this is my product. Let's get together. And he sent me information on it, and I'm working on a business plan for that. So win-win. But because two minds came together with a common goal, we're going to create a solution for both of us. I'm going to make money. He's going to make money. And the product is going to be on the market soon. So that's what a mastermind can do for you. One of the chapters he has in here is Transmutation, the mystery of sex. It's not so much about sex as it is the transmutation of giving birth to an idea, giving birth to a concept or something that creates something better. So if you have an idea for a business and you never do anything with it, you never give birth to that idea, it dies off. But if you have an idea that you give birth to and you nurture it and you nurse it along and you raise it, you can create something that's unbelievably successful. But it's not going to happen if you don't nurture it from the second the idea is born. And that's really where you've got to come in and say, I've got an idea. I'm going to stick with my idea. I'm going to put everything I can into making this idea become a reality, to become a business, to bring in an income for me that's going to make me successful. And that's what that's talking about. Next, he talks about the power of the subconscious mind. And it goes along with the chapter on autosuggestion. Basically, we have our two mindsets. We have our conscious thinking mind and we have our subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is working all the time, whether we know it or not. You walk across the room, you don't think about it. You just one foot in front of the other, boom, you're gone, right? That's your subconscious mind. Your reasoning thinking mind is somebody introduces you to a thought and you have the ability to accept or reject that idea. But whatever you put in your subconscious mind is going to become your reality. We hear people say things all the time like, I'm stupid, or I'm so stupid, or I can't afford this, or that costs too much. They put these negative messages into their mind, and guess what happens? It goes from their reasoning, thinking mind right into their subconscious mind, and they make it a self-fulfilling prophecy. So what he's talking about with your subconscious mind is you have to say things differently. When I started in personal development, I couldn't afford it, but I didn't say I can't afford it. I said, I want it, I need it, how can I afford it? And when I started asking myself, how can I afford it? I came up with a solution, and guess what happened? I wound up studying personal development, and I've been doing it for 2 years now. But I did it because I made a decision, and it was a decision that I made, boom, like that. You have to make that decision quickly. You have to stick to it. I had faith. I put all the principles in this book I put into that, and I made that happen. And it's made a dramatic improvement in my life. I mean, I am so much further along than I was 2 years ago. It's unbelievable. He talks about the brain, which is the broadcasting station of thought. You know, you, like I said, any thought you have the ability to accept it or reject it. And if you accept the wrong thoughts, you're not going to build a fortune. You're not going to have successful relationships. You're not going to have a successful business, because you're going to put things in there that don't belong in there. And you really have to change the way that you talk to yourself, the way you think about yourself, the way you feel about yourself, because those are going to be the things that make you a success. And you got to train your brain. You got to turn off the TV. You got to do things like read books like Think and Grow Rich, The Science of Getting Rich. You got to listen to The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale a couple of times a day. Put some positive things in your brain that change the way you think, that change the way you feel, that change the way you look at things, so that you can be a success. And he talks about the sixth sense as one of the last principles. We all have that gut feeling. And I can go back to what happened to me a couple of weeks ago at the cigar shop, basically a week and a half ago. I just was talking with someone that I didn't really know very well. I know his name. He knows my name. He knows I study personal development, but I didn't really know anything about him. I didn't know that he had a product that he's been sitting on, that he's been looking for something to get it to the marketplace. But something inside me said, hey, you learned something new. Tell this guy about the new thing that you just learned and see what happens. So I did. And what ended up happening was he was looking for someone like me, and I was looking for a product. And it just happened because I took that opportunity. Something inside me said, hey, tell him about this. This will impress him. It did impress him. It impressed him a lot. It impressed him enough to where he said, I want to work with you. And I'm really excited about this because, you know, this is a great opportunity that applying pretty much all the principles in this book is what led me to this one point in time where everything came together. And I got that gut feeling, share this idea with JC, and then JC shared his product with me. And now we're going to build a business together, and we're both going to make money. But it didn't happen by accident. It happened because I was persistent. It happened because I had faith. It happened because I made a decision. It happened because I trusted my sixth sense. All the principles that are in this book made it to where that thing happened. This is a really great book. The copy that I have is put together by Paul Martinelli and Roddy Galbraith. It's broken down into lines so that you can, it's actually a study guide of Think and Grow Rich. And it's a fantastic book. Everybody that's become rich, that's become a self-made multimillionaire, has this book in their library. And if you want to become a success, you need to study this book. When I study this book, I start out by reading the chapter on persistence 14 days in a row. And there's a reason that I do that. The reason I do that is because when you read about persistence and the struggles that some people have gone through to become a success, to do the things that they wanted to do, to become the people that they became. When you hear how they struggled, and then you look at yourself and how you're struggling, you can say, you know what, if these people can go through all of that and succeed and make something and become millionaires and become successful actors or actresses, or to become successful writers, or there's a story about Muhammad, about how he became the ruler of Arabia. You know, when you read these stories of what happened to these people and where they wound up at the end of it, and all because they had persistence. Persistence is really the key, sticking to it. So I hope that you go out and get a copy of Think and Grow Rich. And I hope you study the book. Don't just read it and throw it on the shelf. Study it, highlight it, reread it. Spend an hour a day reading this book. You know, Bob Proctor's been studying this book 60-something years, and he still carries a copy of this with him, and he reads and studies it every day. And if you look at how successful Bob Proctor is, you're going to say, well, if the book he reads is this book, then I need to read this book. But if he studies this book, instead of reading it, I need to really study it. And that's what I'm doing. I'm studying Think and Grow Rich. I hope you study it too. Go out and make today a great day.